The Fat Controller gathered some of his engines in the yard for a very special announcement. This is going to be a huge year for us all. This railway has increased in traffic in recent years, and I know that you all will strive to be really useful.
Like we always do.
Shush, Gordon.
I've been working on a new project that will innovate new opportunities for us. There's to be a new mainline extension that runs beyond the Sodor airport. This will allow for more passenger services to runs to towns where our rails can't reach.
With all due respect, sir, we already have enough work as it is.
Don't worry, Percy. I've already figured out that you all have enough work as it is, so I've hired in another engine to help build the line. I believe that some of you have already acquainted yourselves with this engine.
Someone we know already? Oh, I wonder.
It could be some mainland diesel for all we know.
Maybe an engine from a heritage railway, perhaps.
Aye, like Stepney and Wilbert.
Until then, I will assign one of you to bring supplies to the sites. So, starting tomorrow, James, you can start bringing building supplies tomorrow.
Oh great, just perfect.
Ha ha! Oh, poor you, James. Looks like you got the short end of the stick with this one.
Oh, shut up, Gordon.
Who's that engine that the Fat Controller hired?
Whoever it is, he or she better get here quick.
The engines were left wondering who this engine the Fat Controller brought, until a few weeks later.
This is really starting to get irritating. I had to haul supply trains for the past 2 weeks and now I have to take ballast trucks. Alright, James, you've been non-stop complaining about this for days and it's really annoying. Your fireman and me. Ain't that right, Richie?
Oh, sorry Fred, I couldn't quite hear that. I bought earplugs to ignore James's complaining.
Ugh.
Still complaining about trucks, James? Things never change.
Did someone clone me?
Oh, come on, James. Don't you know me?
Wait a second. You're... Winston!
Winston, my old friend. It's been a long time.
Hello, Edward. It's nice to see you again. And you too, James. I'm glad some things stayed the same.
Now, Winston, your trucks of ballast just arrived from the Little Western. I need you to take them to the site for me.
On my way, sir. I love to stay in chat, but I got work to do. Talk to you later, Edward.
For the rest of the day, Winston hauled ballast trains to and from the site. And by the end of the day, he returned to the sheds feeling pleased with himself.
He was once the biggest traffic engine for us back in the day. He can tackle any goods train he was attached to.
Weren't talking about little old me, were you?
Yeah, Edward told me lots of stories about you. From the days you helped build the railway, to when you had to help push Henry out of the tunnel.
Yes, those were in the days when we were young and foolish, and now we're older and wiser.
Speak for yourself, Henry.
Oh, ha ha, Percy.
All jokes aside, my surprise that young Winston here was able to pull 10 train loads of ballast without any trouble.
Ah, it's just a knack. I handled trucks for years.
Maybe so, but being able to control ballast trucks on your first day is of quite the achievement. Most engines would have some level of difficulty with them, even Oliver.
Well, he doesn't have trouble with them now, not after the Scruffy incident.
Oh, believe me when I say it, Donald, these trucks are nothing compared to the performance of 2 engines from the past.
What 2 engines?
There were 2 engines that used to work on this railway many years ago.
Can you tell me about them, please?
Well, this sounds fascinating.
Now, Gordon, I know you never liked them, but there are some engines that don't know the railway's earliest years.
Fine, do what you want.
And Edward began his story.
It began in the early 1920s. The North Western Railway was still new. There were a few engines on the railway at the time, including Thomas, Winston and me. Winston and I handled goods and passengers, while Thomas acted as a station pilot at Vickerstown. But the Fat Director at the time was in desperate need of locomotives and purchased Henry to run trains and a newly formed express. But that wasn't going to be the case. I started to be used less and less, and Henry's condition was making things worse. Oh, I knew this would happen.
Oh, Henry, we all know it wasn't your fault that you failed.
And indeed it wasn't. The people from your workshop didn't tell me about your mechanical faults in your design when I purchased you. But Henry, I am still pleased that you managed to get your train to the station safely.
Thank you, sir.
Now, as you all are aware, this railway has grown in popularity with many passengers and goods contracts. However, there isn't enough engines in my current fleet to handle all this work.
What do you propose, sir?
I've recently been approached by the NWR Board of Directors about taking 2 of their engines on trial. And, if successful, I'll purchase them and have them join the railway.
When will these 2 engines arrive, sir?
I've been told that they'll be arriving next week. One engine's from Darlington and the other is from Ashford. So it'll take some time for them to arrive.
Oh, I wonder what the new engines will be like.
Whoever they are, I hope they're helpful.
The following week, we were greeted by the Fat Director, along with 2 blue engines.
Here are 87546 and 98462. I hope you all make them feel welcome and comfortable.
Hello, welcome to the North Western Railway. My name is Edward.
I'm Thomas.
Winston.
And I'm Henry.
No wonder my controller has sent me to work here. This place is a mess.
I say, why bother helping on this improper railway?
What do you mean improper?
All this railway has for its engines is a tiny little tank engine, a failed engine hybrid, an old antique, and a giant strawberry.
How dare you?
That's not how engines should speak, especially if they're here on trial.
Ha! What would you know? The driver won't choose an old engine again. He would want big, strong engines like us.
What rudeness! They're just as bad as the trucks.
Same here.
They won't last long. I can feel it in my pistons. The next day they were set to work. 98462 handled the express. While 87546 handled the mixed traffic. They both returned to the shed, feeling pleased with themselves.
Ha! I've shown those passengers a good time today. They were all practically singing my praises.
I also did well today. I managed to get my trains on time.
Not without bumping the coaches once or twice.
Excuse me?
You heard. The sweet dears told us how you treated them. Coaches should be treated with care.
Ha! I know how to handle coaches, thank you very much. You worry too much. Go back and collect soot and dust at the end of the shed.
I knew I would be wasting my own puff on those 2, and didn't say anything else for the rest of the evening. It was a surprise to all of us that they managed to stay for a year on Sodor. The following year was the time Gordon was transferred to Sodor and was put on express duties, much to 98462's dismay.
He and I were getting into big arguments about which one of us is suited to express duties. This isn't fair at all, having the express engine taken from me in favor of a newbie and being reduced to pull trucks. It's degrading.
We were all sick of 98462's tantrum, but we grew to ignore it. One early morning, everyone was getting ready for work. The otherwise peaceful atmosphere of the yard was suddenly interrupted.
The director spoke to me about my performance yesterday. He says my trials are going so much better than yours.
Stuff and nonsense! I've been making better time than you ever could.
Oh, stop you two. The sun is barely in the sky and already you're making a fuss.
Oh, so sorry. We didn't mean to ruin your morning.
Not like we care about your morning routine.
Where are my coaches? Shouldn't Thomas have shunted them by now?
He is busy. You'll have to collect them.
Grrr.
Oh no, not this engine again.
Wakey, wakey.
Oh! Watch it, you big brute.
Take it easy. You miserable engine! You ripped the coupling clean off. Now we have to find the replacement.
Oh, it's only one coach. I thought it was something serious.
Thanks a lot. Now we're not going anywhere now.
87546 collected another rake of coaches, but everyone was very cross with him. That's why the driving fireman chose me to take out instead of him the next day.
Be careful, Edward. Don't bump and bang us like the other engines.
Don't worry, my dears. I say, what happened to your front coupling?
That blue engine did this to us.
87546, I presume. The coupling was replaced, and I went on with my day. 87546 was very cross when I returned that same evening. Not long after the Fat Director found out and put him on goods trains as punishment, along with 98462, who was still envious about the Express.
The director is a fool, replacing me at the head of the Express to some new engine.
Oh, don't worry. I'm sure that you're better than him any day. Just prove it.
Okay, I'll prove to the director that it was a mistake of replacing me from the Express.
Nine 8462's method to prove himself was to show the Fat Director by showing him how fast he could go. For weeks he tried to achieve high speeds on his goods runs, but his crew wouldn't allow it. I tried to warn him about the dangerous risk, but he wouldn't listen.
I know what I'm doing. You're too small to be of any use at going fast.
Suit yourself, but don't say I didn't warn you. Then, one day, he got his chance. Gordon was away being repaired after bursting his safety valve, and there was no one to cover the Express, except 98462.
Finally, a proper engine on a proper train. That will show Fat Hat I'm a far better suit for the Express than that Gordon. From what I heard, 98462 bucketed along the line. I watched from the work siding in astonishment, whistles screeching and all. In all honesty, it would have been a spectacular run, but he reckoned without one thing.
While this was happening, Thomas was arranging Henry's train. 87546 decided to put his deviousness into action.
Oh, Thomas, the Fat Director wants those coaches moved to platform 4 instead of 2 and replace them with the goods train.
Why would the Fat Director tell you to tell me to rearrange the train?
Probably a last minute change. Come on, Thomas. We must do as we are told.
What's that noise? What's going on?
You shunted the coaches into the wrong platform and replaced them with trucks.
The goods train? This isn't right, Thomas. What's happened here? You don't usually get this wrong.
But it's not my fault. 87546 told me to rearrange them.
I did no such thing. How could I? I haven't seen you all morning.
A huge riot broke out until the Fat Director came out.
What's going on here?
Thomas has brought the coaches to the wrong platform and replaced them with a goods train.
And he tried to blame me.
No, I didn't. You told me to do that.
Lies.
Alright, that's it. I have enough.
Driver, what are you doing?
I've had it with your stupid lies. Sir, my engine here is responsible for this mix-up.
At that moment, 98462 pulled in with the express.
Ha! 15 minutes early. That will show, old Fat Director.
And show me what, exactly?
Oh, hello, sir. Just showing a prime example of Top Link Express.
His smugness turned into horror at the sight of his passengers. You see, there was a dining car on the express, and because 98462 was travelling at high speed, food and drink spilled all over the place.
The passengers were a mess and expressed their complaints to the Fat Director and told him what a bad railway it was.
That engine of yours!
I hope you're going to replace my engine. Now, everyone, I'll ensure that your spoiled clothes will be recovered. As for you two, I will speak to you later. Edward, please help Thomas to rearrange this whole mess.
Yes, sir. I think it might have been better if you heed my warning. But the lesson came too late.
I am absolutely appalled by your behaviour during these trials. The other engines told me what you both said, and I'm not pleased to say the least.
But sir, it wasn't.
It wasn't.
I am not in the mood to care. You've both been rude, spiteful, careless bullies. I do not tolerate engines like that on my railway.
But sir!
That's enough from the both of you. As soon as I can arrange it, you'll both return to the NWR and never come back. Do I make myself clear?
Yes,
yes, sir.
The Fat Director turned and walked sternly away. At the end of the week, the two were ready to go. No one came to see them off. They didn't deserve it.
There was silence in the shed until Percy spoke.
What happened to them afterwards?
Well, they went back to their respective regions. From what Henry and I heard from engines that worked with the both of them elsewhere, they never learned sense, unfortunately. 98462 was on permanent goods traffic to handle his behaviour.
And 87546 was restricted on secondary services, rarely coming out of the shed. Seems karma hit him pretty hard.
Good riddance too, making such foolish moves.
So where do you think they are now?
Well, Percy, I have a theory. But it's not a good one.